The Kybalion, Chapter 12, The Law of Causation Explained. Welcome back on this journey with us. Today, we're entering Chapter 12 of the Kybalion, the Principle of Causation. This Hermetic law reminds us that nothing in the universe happens by chance. Everything is caused. Every effect has a cause. Every cause creates an effect, and when we understand this, we begin to realize that reality is not random. It's rhythmic, it's coded, it's law. So let's explore the deeper meaning of causation and why this law is one of the most empowering truths on your spiritual path. This is Chapter 12, Explained. We live in a world of effects. Every moment we experience is the result of some chain of causes stretching far back beyond our awareness. And yet, most people walk through life thinking things happen to them. They see events as luck, fate, or misfortune. They react, they suffer, they blame. But the Hermetic teachings say something different. They say that nothing escapes the law. Everything happens according to it. Chance is only a name given to an unrecognized law. When we call something random, what we really mean is that we do not yet understand the causes behind it. This is where true spiritual power begins, because when you realize that every effect has a cause and every cause leads to an effect, you begin to trace your reality not from the surface, but from its source. The wise ones do not simply observe the effects of life, they rise above them. They learn to become the cause. This does not mean you control everything, but it means you participate consciously. You choose your frequency. You choose your intention. You choose how to respond. And in doing so, you shift the timeline of what comes next. Cause and effect are not just things that happen to you. They are the very building blocks of your personal reality. Your thoughts are causes. Your emotions are causes. Your words and actions ripple out like stones in water, creating unseen consequences across the fabric of time and space. Think of it this way. Imagine a river flowing. Most people are swept up by the current, reacting to the rocks, the twists, the turbulence. But the Hermetic student learns how to rise above the river. They learn how to understand its movement and eventually how to choose when and where to step into the stream. This is what it means to master the law of causation, to stop being merely an effect of external forces and to become a conscious cause of your own unfolding. The Kybalion tells us that there is a chain of causes and effects that stretches across every level of reality. From the movement of galaxies, to the growth of a tree, to the thoughts passing through your mind right now. Some causes are physical, some are mental, some are spiritual, but all are part of the same cosmic web. You can think of it like an invisible thread of energy that links everything together. Nothing stands alone. Everything is part of something larger. Now, here's where it gets deeper. The law of causation is tied to the law of vibration. Remember that everything moves. Everything is in motion. Well, motion is what causes change, and change is what creates effects. The higher your vibration, the more conscious your causes become. Low vibrational causes create low vibrational effects. That's why reacting out of fear, anger, or survival keeps people in loops of suffering. But when you act from a place of love, clarity, and alignment, your ripple shifts, your causes elevate, and the effects begin to match your new frequency. This is how you break cycles, not by fighting the outer world, but by becoming intentional with your inner one. Here's a Hermetic secret that most people never realize. The higher you rise in consciousness, the more you move from being an effect of your circumstances to becoming a cause within creation. You no longer get dragged by life. You shape it, not in an egoic way, but in a co-creative way. You begin to see the laws of the universe as your allies, not your enemies. The Kybalion says that there are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. Some people operate only on the physical plane. They react to what they see, hear, touch, or feel. Others are affected mentally. Their emotions are tossed around by external influences. But those who awaken begin to operate from the spiritual plane. where true causation begins. It's on the spiritual plane that intention becomes a frequency, where alignment becomes power, where thought becomes creation. This is where the real magic lies. When you live as a conscious cause, you don't need to force or manipulate. You understand the timing of the universe. You learn to work with energy instead of pushing against it. You understand that what you plant in thought becomes what grows in time. If this is starting to shift something in your perspective, pause for a moment and let it land. Then go ahead and hit the like button so this wisdom keeps circulating, and drop a comment if you're realizing how much power you actually hold. We're not just reading, and we're remembering. Let's keep going. Let's bring it back to your everyday life. Ever notice how when you're in a low state, the smallest thing can spiral you? Someone cuts you off, and suddenly your whole day is off. That's because you're sitting in effect. You're not choosing your frequency. You're letting outer events determine your inner state. But when you're grounded in presence, even chaos doesn't move you. You observe, but don't react. You stay in your power. That moment right there, that's what it feels like to become a cause. This law doesn't mean bad things won't ever happen, but it means you stop assigning meaning to everything as punishment or fate. You begin to see that every situation has layers of causes, some karmic, some energetic, some environmental, and that you have the ability to choose your relationship to them. Think of every cause you set as a seed. Some grow instantly, others take time. Some come back in strange ways, but nothing is ever lost. The universe tracks everything, not to punish you, but to reflect you. That's why the Hermetic path is not about blame. It's about responsibility. The word responsible means able to respond. You don't have to react. You get to respond with awareness, with grace, and with alignment. And the more you do, the more life responds to you differently. Here's something else to consider. The people who seem the most powerful in the world, the ones who shape systems, influence culture, build empires, they're not living as effects. They've learned how to operate on the level of causes, sometimes consciously, sometimes unconsciously, but they've tapped into the flow of creation. The Hermetic teachings invite you to do the same, not for domination, but for elevation, to step into your creator self, to stop waiting for the world to change, and instead start choosing who you want to be in it. The more you live with intention, the more precise your causes become. You begin to see how one small thought can become a day, how one word can become a relationship, how one belief can become a life. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is by accident. Everything is moving because something moved before it. And so, the question becomes, what are you choosing to cause? What ripple are you sending? What energy are you becoming? Because the law will not bend for you, but it will reflect you. And once you know that, you begin to move with grace, with reverence, and with power. This is the path of the initiate, to rise from effect to cause, to know that you are not separate from the chain of events, but a link within it. And the stronger your awareness, the brighter your link glows. So the next time you feel like life is spinning out of control, pause. Remember the law. Ask yourself, what caused this? And what can I now choose to cause from here? Because every moment is a pivot point. Every moment is a seed. And every moment is either something that happens to you or something that is shaped by you. The Hermetic teachings don't promise that life will be easy, but they do offer you the ability to navigate it with eyes wide open, to become a conscious participant in your own unfolding. So take a breath, and remember, the law of causation is always at work. The only question is, are you creating from memory or from intention? This is the secret. This is the power. This is the law. Thank you for listening to this breakdown of Chapter 12 of the Kybalion. If this message activated something in you, like and comment to keep the ripple moving. And if you're ready to keep rising through the Hermetic teachings, stay with us. There's more to remember, more to reclaim, and more to become. Until next time, walk with awareness, speak with intention, and be the cause, not just the effect.